All right, tonight we're going to be making, what is it? Oh, cheesy ham and potato soup. So, first of all, we're going to need 4 cups of chicken broth. Or, if you don't have chicken broth, you can use 4 cups of water. And 4 teaspoons of chicken bouillon. And we're going to bring this up to a boil. 1, 2, 3, 4. So mix that together. Bring that up to a boil. And while we wait for that, we're going to start chopping up some vegetables here. We're going to need 6 medium potatoes, 2 carrots, and 1 large onion. It's kind of a large onion. It's kind of a medium onion. And we're just going to add those directly to the pot as we cut them. So we're starting with potato, then carrots, then onion. Because the potatoes take the longest to cook. Just dice these into some bite-sized pieces. Add those to the broth. And now the carrots. And we're just going to cut these into small circles. And just add those carrots in there. Hey, baby. It's very hot. Be careful. And now the onion. No, you don't need to mix it.
I can't do it.
Okay, wait till I add the onions in, then you can mix it, okay?
I mix it.
Add the onions. You're going to want about 1.5 to 2 cups of ham. This is frozen ham that I had left over from Christmas dinner. Still pretty frozen. But ham has such a high fat content. It should actually slice fairly easily frozen. Oh yes, very easy actually. And you see all this fat on this ham? That is what's going to help us make a really good gravy base for it. So do not cut off the ham fat. You're supposed to have some corn for this too. Since I'm out of corn, I'm going to be using green onion that I have. Should be even better, I'm telling you. And don't forget, when you're done with your green onions, you save that root and about 2 inches up the root. Put it into a glass of water in your kitchen window, and it will regrow itself. In a week's time, you'll have another bunch of green onions that you can use. I'll show you. I have some that are on their 3rd time of regrowing. These green onions have been used twice. You can see my cut line right here. Oh, I broke one. You just fill that up with water to keep those roots in the water, and they'll just keep regrowing themselves. This is on the 3rd time here. That'd be the last time we're going to be doing that. They could regrow 3 times before they start to get a little bit, but they're still going to make good chives, so you could still keep growing it and then dehydrate those out. Yeah, make chives with them. Okay, now that that's up to a boil, we're going to turn that down to a simmer. We're just going to let that cook for about 10 minutes. You could use bacon in this recipe too. That'd be really good. If you're using bacon or ham that doesn't have a lot of fat content, add a little bit of bacon grease or butter to your soup mix. You want to have a couple of tablespoons of fat in the mix at least. And yeah, we got plenty of fat here.
Hey, ready, cook. Huh?
Where'd you put the spoon? Those fat pieces like that, if you've ever gotten a pork and beans and you see that little fat piece in there, it's essentially the same kind of fat that is. It's usable fat, just not in large quantities because it's so rich. Alright, now we're going to cut a bunch of green onions. You could put corn in this if you have corn too. I usually do, but I am out of corn right now. This is probably going to be way better. You want to cut them down to about like this here. Take that rubber band off of them. And then you just stick them in a glass of water and let them grow. And next week we'll be able to reuse these. Look at that pathetic bunch of green onions. What is that? 6 green onions for $1? Fucking pathetic. Pathetic. Let's see how much the last bunch of green onions gave us. So the last time I bought a bunch of green onions, look at how many green onions that this actually had. It's almost 20. Almost 20 root stalks here. That was one bunch of green onions. This is its 3rd time of regrowing, so it looks kind of pathetic. This time, the green onions were the same. Well, I think they were like 20 cents more. These were like 96 cents a bunch. And now they only had six pathetic green onion stalks in there. They are much thicker around, though, than these. So we'll see if they grow better green onions. And then just change this water every few days with fresh cold water. And once your potatoes are tender, turn that heat all the way up because we're going to add all of this cold ham. Okay, so you're just going to bring this back up to a boil, and then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of pepper. And 1 teaspoon of salt. And 1 teaspoon of basil. I just filled that up. It's so sweet. Oh, that was a little light. A little bit extra. And once that starts to boil again, you'll know that your ham is heated through. We're going to cook that for about 2 or 3 more minutes just to bake some of that fat off of that ham. Mix it slow. You don't want to smush your potatoes. Yep, you got to mix it careful or you'll end up with mashed potato soup. We're going to be adding a whole bunch of milk. So while this is cooking out, we have 4 cups of milk here. And we're just going to put these in the microwave and get them almost warm before we add it to the soup. This will cut down on the cooking time. After you get your milk warmed up in the microwave, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. We're going to add that to our soup. Careful, it's hot. Yes, keep that on high. Then we're going to add that to our soup. It's so full. Careful. Oh, good job. Okay, let me clean that up before it cooks on.
Be careful.
Yeah, you be careful. It is boiling water hot. You're right. Woo. Yeah, that's hot. Ooh. If you noticed the green onions that were in there when I started filming, that was because the 3-year-old wanted to come in here and help while I was taking a little break. And, oh, we can add these green onions now. Add 1 cup of milk in here. Michaela, do you want to mix it? It's time to mix it. Get up here. Now we're going to add to 1 cup of milk, 1/2 of a cup of flour. Put it in here. Careful. It's so messy. And now whisk that together really well. Mix it up. And then while you wait for that milk to get heated through, we're going to grate 1 pound of cheese. 16 ounces.
Done.
Yeah, you got to keep mixing it until it's all smooth. It's so lumpy. Oh, no, you're not. Look at all those lumps. You got to mix that up till it's really smooth. No, oh, it's not ready yet. Oh, you little cheese eater. If you are using the bagged cheese, it might not melt the way it's supposed to melt. I recommend grating your own. We're just doing giant grates. It's a lot easier. Now it's starting to smell good. Mix it up, girl. Mix and mix and mix. You want to stir pretty consistently after you add that milk. It will burn to the bottom. Which still makes good soup. But I wouldn't recommend it. Let me give it a check. Get that off the sides there.
Yuck.
Yeah, that doesn't taste good. Yuck. Make sure you get this really good and smooth as best you can, or you'll have lumpy soup. All right, so after your milk comes to a boil, now we're going to add in the flour mixture. Give that a mix before you add it in, just to make sure. Yeah, just a little at a time. Won't take so long to come back to a boil. You want to make sure you constantly stir. You want to keep that flour suspended just for about 2 or 3 minutes until it thickens. Wow. It's because you're hungry, because I'm making dinner and it smells good. Just add that flour mixture. Stir constantly after you add that flour mixture. As soon as this comes back to a boil, turn it off right away. Now we're going to add in the cheese. Just about 1/3 at a time. Make it a lot easier to stir and melt it in there. Stir that in. Add some more. And then stir the rest of that cheese in there. And as soon as that cools off for a minute, we'll be ready to eat. Okay, and then let's see how pretty. So beautiful. Just serve that up with some crackers for the little extra salt. With some saltine crackers. Definitely. All right. We'll see you guys next time.